Hey guys, I am sitting outside again today, but, for the joy of shaking things up in life, I am sitting in a different spot. I know, I live life on the edge, huh? But no, I don't know. I just came out and decided to sit somewhere different, and I was just like, okay, I just rolled with it. But it was fitting because this is what came to me. This saying came to me. And it was, same as it never wasn't is different than it's always been. Same as it never wasn't is different than it's always been. And I got it, and I'm like, what the fuck am I? The Riddler now? That's how I felt when my guides gave me this phrase the other day. I don't know, I guess sometimes you just gotta heed the call. Even if you're not quite fucking sure they dialed the right number. I'm just saying. Usually they do, though. They know what they're doing. Let's just put that out there. It just takes us a minute, to pick up what they're laying down sometimes, huh? Anyway, that phrase came to me. It came about after my last episode. My so-called life, that one, where I talked about change being life and how we need to, fucking focus more on changing how things have always been done. And I guess I wanted to talk about it today because what kept coming to me around this phrase, and it was loud and clear, you guys, was how can we change our patterns? And then I heard, simple. Respond to them differently this time. And I literally was like, fucking simple is right. Right? So, I keep listening in on this feeling, I guess, and I kept getting, vision of, people playing Twister. It kept popping into my head. You know that game, right? Yeah, you do. Everybody knows Twister. I kept seeing it like a human dance that never goes anywhere. We have someone else spinning our turn in life, okay? Right hand blue, left leg yellow, left hand red, right? Until we're all twisted all over that game board of life. And right now is just about when we start to lose balance and fall. And it's because that outside source, the spinner, right? The game of Twister, is the one calling the shots. But that outside source doesn't feel what we feel. They just call out the colors and the limbs. Huh? They don't give a fuck because they can't feel the stretch, right? In your calf as you try to reach that dot, right? You trying to contort to meet what the outside sources want puts a strain on your flesh. Ooh, I sounded all biblical there. On your flesh. Fuck. That came to me. I don't know, I was envisioning the life like a game of Twister. Twister's a traditional game, right? Just roll with me for a minute. A traditional game, a classic, right? It's not changed much over time, has it? I mean, there's been no updated Twister with, like neon colored dots or what the fuck ever, right? In all the decades that it's been around. And it got me thinking about how in life, if we continue to follow the same old traditions that don't serve us, right? By doing that, in a way, we're stopping our own evolution. Now, here's why I think this. So, what if refusing to grow, only allowing ourselves to mimic the traditions of previous generations, is why we can't truly evolve further? I mean, sometimes traditions are great, like good old Twister. But what happens if they don't feel so fucking good anymore? What happens when you know that you're fucking done with the damn status quo? If we stayed in old traditions, okay, we would not recycle. We would not have laws that protect us. We would not have advancement in many areas if the decisions were made to just keep going with the traditions and not embrace any new thoughts or ideas that have come about. We wouldn't have microwaves or streaming. We wouldn't have cell phones or computers. We as a society will allow traditions to change, right? As long as they don't seem to affect any perspectives that were handed down to us from previous generations. That's why, emotionally and consciously, we are taking so long to evolve ourselves. For ourselves. We're refusing to adapt to what we feel as energetic beings is our truth. Because we don't want to buck the system, or our bloodline had something in place for like fucking 50 years. I'm sorry. When was the last time you used anything from fucking 50 years ago? Environments change. And for some reason, we just keep picking up that old game of Twister and moving it to the new environments we're in. Thinking that the outside will change the whole game. But it won't. Because bottom line is, Twister still needs an outside source to choose your destination. Right hand red, left foot blue. The whole point is for your sense of self. The source inside is supposed to be the catalyst for your own change, not outside. So, how can we respectfully release those traditions from our sense of self if they aren't serving us anymore? I like to call it the TP rule. 1, because we're wiping away all that shit we don't need. And 2, we're releasing tradition and embracing progression. See? TP. Get it? By releasing the tight grip on tradition, okay, and allowing ourselves to grasp progression. And look, nobody is saying to fully let go of anything that serves you. But if you're honest and you can see some long-standing fucking tradition doesn't work for you in the current world, then ask yourself, how can you allow progress? How can you allow progress in your own life? And I'll tell you, it's going to take some strength. Solar plexus, mount up. But it's when you start to know that you can fucking do this. That you believe enough in you and what you know to be true. That you know that what your mom or your great-grandfather believed may have worked for them in their life and during their generation's view of what the world was, right? Because it could have. I mean, traditions don't stick around if they suck, right? But you now know that this world that you're adulting in is a much, much, much different looking landscape than that old environment where those other traditions were born. I think the biggest downfall we have when we try to do this is we fear that our thoughts, our ideas are inferior to those of the past. And we just stick with whatever worked good for ma and pa. But you gotta stick to your own guns, you guys. You gotta keep your own power and go after what you know is right and best for you. For your life and for your mindset and for your fucking soul. And you do this by listening to your higher self. You gotta quiet that mind. Tell the guy spinning the spinner and twister to go home. And let you yourself decide where you want to put your hand or your foot. You decide your next move, not them. Hopefully it's moving forward with progress in your heart. I mean, we do have GPS now, so forward movement is much easier, right? Imagine if you were to stick with tradition. Shit, you be unfolding a map down 95 trying not to crash as you realize you just missed the damn exit. No computer voice to reroute. Look. What I'm saying, okay, is yes, it may be different and difficult to buck a tradition you once held onto as part of what is making you who you are. But just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's impossible. It is actually very, very possible. And honestly, needed. Needed if we want to evolve into our highest progressive timelines. If you're sitting here and you know for a fucking fact that you're ready for change, then you need to follow that guidance. It's coming from you. Take those bits and pieces of tradition that still resonate and make your own path. Let that GPS do what it's meant to, yeah? You can change your circumstances. You can change your future. Shit, you can even impact the world if you fucking want to. But what it will take is the strength to listen to yourself and know what traditions are holding you back in the name of false loyalty. That's the biggest fucking challenge, you guys. We feel if we choose different than our traditions, then we are not loyal. But I ask you, if you're following those traditions and it doesn't feel loyal to you, to your soul and yourself, which you should be loyal to first and foremost, if you're not going to do that, then who will be loyal to you? Everything you want to show on the outside of you, you must first honor within yourself. That's progress. And when lots of people do it for the same loving reasons, that's progressive. Sorry, Flo, you're not on this one. But that's why we feel we don't fit. Because we're trying too hard to hold on to old traditions when all we need to do is release them with a sense of love for what they showed us and allow our new traditions to enter our lives. Progress toward new beginnings. Bold, beautiful new beginnings, I say. I mean, think about it. When you realize the truth, okay, in your life, any kind of truth, but you ignore it because of your past or traditions or whatever, what you're actually doing is self-sabotaging yourself. You are. When you see truth, okay, but choose to ignore it, that means that you don't have any faith in yourself and what you know. And if you don't have faith in yourself, how the heck can you expect that you're going to have faith in the greater power that made you? You. Made you with your own feelings, right? And heart and mind and thoughts. Made you think and see that truth that you chose to ignore. You shutting down the faith of yourself is what is shutting down the faith of whatever higher power you believe in. And that's a fact. And that's why you revert back to those old traditions that don't serve the highest good anymore. Because you wouldn't own that truth. That's why it's important to remember that you have enough value as you are, and to go after what you feel matters for you. When you feel the faith for yourself and your own intuition and hear that truth, then you realign with Source, Spirit, God, whatever you like to say. You realign with that again. And that's when you start awakening to a more balanced life. Accept your truth. And sometimes, you guys, you will start to honor your feelings, and you're going to find no support from those close to you. I'm just speaking real. Because those who came before you and couldn't change those traditions on their own don't want you to be able to do it instead. That they get envy and think, why should they get what I couldn't? And it sucks, but it's going to happen. And when it does, you have to step outside of that and see the bigger picture. Know thyself, as they say. And if you do know yourself, you won't allow this to stop you. But if you're not stable within for what's calling you to change, then you will fold. Because only by stepping back and looking at the whole entire picture can you see those who you assumed were meant for you were actually hindering your progress all along. And the reason you don't see it until you step back is because you're too fucking close to it. Too fucking close. To it or to them, whatever it is, right? Like, you know, when you get really close to something, but you can't see it anymore because it becomes blurry. That's how we fuck ourselves when we know that we're ready for forward movement, for progress, for change. We have to know what is best for us and let the rest fucking go, you guys. And I'm not saying fuck the world, but know that you can be related to people and have differences. You can love people and not agree with their beliefs or ideas. That's why I always choose love. Remember my karmic rule, huh? We only owe love the chance to grow. Love you. And then because of the faith within you, you can love them for however or whoever they are with acceptance. Even if you've moved to a different path in some way. See? Stepping away from old traditions, or better yet, stepping towards making your own traditions isn't wrong. Not if it provides a solution to what isn't working for you. It's okay to do things differently, is what I mean. I think it was Einstein who said you can't fix a problem with the same consciousness or way of thinking that got you into it. That goes back to that freaking patterns, right? Same thing. How can we fix our patterns? By responding differently to it. Yeah, I guess I'm an Einstein too. Oh, my guides are. I'll give them that. The truth is, okay, it's always up to you. You can change the status quo and be rewarded and allow yourself to celebrate, or you can stay in, I don't know, misery, a ho-hum life until your physical body dies. I don't know. Again, it's always going to be up to you and how strongly you care about you. And yes, I'm guaranteeing you there will be some struggle around change. There will be. But the reason there is struggle is so you learn how to handle that change once it arrives. It's like you got to read the whole chapter before you take the test on it. Yeah? I don't know. Yeah, I found, especially in my own awakening into my self-awareness, that those people or ideas or places that are worth it, one, they come when you ain't looking for them, but you just know it's made for you. And two, they are not easy to get to. They take determination. They are hard lessons. They test you. They push you. They are the driving force behind what is forcing you to evolve. Okay? And 3, those are the ones that are always and forever worth it. Fucking worth it. Every damn time. Every time. I just heard friction is what makes the pearl. And I'm reminded of the way that our brains, process pleasure and pain. Did you know that they're linked in the brain? Did you know that the brain balances out with pleasure when we have too much pain and vice versa? It's true. It's called homeostasis. And it's basically the brain balancing the two feelings. Because of the link they share. It's like, it's like when you fought with your sibling and you shared a room and you taped a line down the fucking middle. Yeah. Or, think of it like a seesaw from the playground, okay? Right? You're on the upside doing something you absolutely love and you're getting great pleasure from it, right? But if you continually do that, then you're simply getting addicted to that pleasure. It is dopamine after all, yeah? So what the pain does is it puts a pressure on the opposite side of the seesaw to try to level out that high, if you will. It will, make you think of something that causes pain, so you naturally regulate the balance between both emotions. It's harder to do now today, actually, with all the instant access. So it's important to, again, know thyself. For me, this was a big way I began to understand my own emotional intelligence. It's like, set limits on Netflix, or how many days you stay up past midnight, or how many drinks you have after work, whatever it is. Moderate and balance, and you'll find a better sense in all aspects of life, really, because you start to feel whole. And the journey to wholeness, I think, is kind of badass. I mean, who wants to walk around with missing pieces? I fucking don't. I want all that is meant to be with me to be with me. Eh? And yes, I know sometimes it's hard. And there are a lot of traditions, right, that we may need to let go of. But I also know that we need to trust again. And once we see that we haven't been wrong, that our inner self was right in its sense of feeling this whole fucking time, right, we won't ever be able to go back. So who's with me? I'm readying my life every day. Readying it up. I just choose to try to step closer to wholeness. I love it if you want to join me. At the end of it all, like I said earlier, it's about what rings true for you. Keep what matters and release what doesn't. And only you know, which is which. And only you can decide if you're ready to move toward that change you seek, If we want the beauty of the rose, we have to endure the pain from the thorn. In life, many things may tear you sometimes, be a point of pain, right? Like the thorn. But it's important to remind ourselves that the thorn is essential if we are to reach the rose. But know this, you're definitely not alone. So, don't be afraid to believe in what you want in life. Whatever traditions speak truth to you. I'm seeing the 8 and 9 of Cups together, like next to each other in tarot. The 8 of Cups is about being self-aware enough to walk away from what doesn't work for you anymore. And the 9 of Cups is wish fulfillment. Wishes fulfilled, yeah? I guess what I'm saying is we have to be willing to own what works for us and leave behind the rest in order to fully live those dream lives we are all after. You know what serves your best good and what doesn't. Spirit is saying it's time now to act on it. And I'm hearing for some people to use the fiery, passionate energy of Aries season to jumpstart it if you're ready. That's interesting. Well, that's all I got for now, you guys. So, I'll talk to you all later. Bye!